I know it's been a while, but I've been preparing myself to play Claire Obscure Expedition 33. All I have to say about this is that turn-based games are so back, and not even just to say they're back because they've always been there, but it's like because I think of my recent exposure to Baldur's Gate 3 and Persona 3, I think I've become more open to turn-based video games. Now, obviously, the only turn-based I've known prior to these experiences are Blue Dragon. You know, just a pretty generic JRPG. I think the character design were made by Akira Toriyama from Dragon Ball. And also just Pokemon. Everybody knows Pokemon, you know, it's a turn-based game. I have to say, before these experiences, I thought that turn-based games were boring. I just did. And you know, sadly, that is the opinion of a lot of people that don't branch out of their comfort zones of video game genres. But I have to say, me being open to play like turn-based video games and seeing that trailer, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, for Expedition 33, me being interested in that and playing it now, I'm so glad I made that decision. This game is so freaking beautiful. First of all, the art style. It's a realistic art approach. You know, people look realistic. It got like this little, I guess you could say, it's not 100% realistic. It's I don't know where to put my finger on it, but you could tell the art style is like, it's a little bit off. Like when you look at these characters, their heads are a little bigger than their bodies, and honestly I think that adds like a little bit of a how can you say, a little bit of personality to each of the characters. Like you tend to focus on their heads and faces and just their features from the neck up a little bit more because they're a lot more bigger than everything else in their body. You know, when you play as these characters, they wear the same outfits for the most part. You know, they wear their expedition uniforms, but because their heads are just a slightly bit larger, you tend to notice more on their facial features and, you know, their hair, their skin color, marks on their skins, you know, physical characteristics. Not even just that, but you tend to focus more on their mannerisms and how they speak. Like when you see Gustav talk to his sister Mael, you can see like these little characteristics pop out when they talk to each other. When it's like sarcasm, when they're just having casual conversations, you know, they do little twitches or something like that, or like they roll their eyes like that and stuff like it. It's little small stuff like that that really gets me interested in like seeing these characters and their dynamics and how they interact with each other. Now, let me talk about these characters. Now, this is a French setting video game. There's a lot of French terminology. You know, a lot of these characters, even when you put their voice language to English, monsters in this other land, the main country, they speak French, such as the Gestrels. They speak French, which I think is really cool. You know, a lot of these games nowadays are either, you know, American, majority English speaking companies, or they come from, you know, Japan, such as From Software, Capcom, what else? Squaresoft, stuff like that. You know, it's not a lot of times we get games from other places. I know recently China's been making it into the scene. I know Korea's trying to do their own video game stuff. You know, we've seen that with Stellar Blade. But man, like having this being like a French-made video game, it's a different approach. It's making me, you know, gain a lot of respect, you know, for video game creators out there from different regions of the world. And honestly, for a $45 price tag and for this quality of a video game with this popular of a cast, I mean, just look at who these motherfuckers got, bro. They got Daredevil, they got Shadowheart. I'm sorry, I actually don't know who this is, or her. Sorry, I don't indulge myself in a lot of real people shows, as others would call it. I mean, we have freaking Gollum from Lord of the Rings, and we have freaking Clive from Final Fantasy 16. Who assembled the Avengers, the four horsemen of fucking like voice acting? This is insane. This is unheard of. Something like this would definitely be like $80, $70 here in the West. But back to these characters. So my first takeaway, because I kind of just knew they were French by just their names, like Gustave, Maël, Sophie, Lucien. What was Tristan, like just the way they pronounce their names, even in the English voice language, like you could just tell, okay, this is French. Even in that opening cutscene, I forget what that structure landmark is called, but that's a French thing. It has like a big, like in IRL, they have like a whole roundabout circle going around it, and then I think they do have like horse statues next to it. I can't remember, but such a beautiful scenery. Just like every setting in this game is so fantastic, and no pun intended, because as far as I am into the game, the main antagonist is this guy named Renoir, and the paintress. You know, your main goal is to get to the paintress. Everywhere I go in this game feels like I'm stepping into a painting. Everything is so carefully articulated, like it's a canvas. Like whoever is part of this art team, hands off to you. And speaking of the art team, there is literally 20 people on this whole dev team. I was looking at it yesterday with my friend, and he was showing me, you know, they have a whole website where they credit each developer and their department, and they actually list off some of their favorite video games. And that brings me to my next point. This game, you can just tell from all of these developers' favorite games, you can tell in Expedition 33 where those favorite games show off on. If we look right here, Guillaume Broche, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. He is the CEO and the creative director of Expedition 33. And if we look at his favorite games, this guy's favorite games are Persona 3, Devil May Cry, Demon Souls, Journey, Final Fantasy 8. This guy is based as fuck. This guy is literally me. Like, bro, as soon as I saw Devil May Cry, I was like, you know, this is a turn-based game. How in the world is Devil May Cry going to influence this in some way? And you know what? I found out last night when I got Verso. You might not know who that is now, but I got to let you know. Make sure you get some tissue boxes near you. If there's anybody who knows a single thing about Devil May Cry, it's me. I mean, look at this catalog right here. Like, how can you just deny it? But other than that, like, there's a whole website. I don't know the link, sadly, but there's a whole link where you could, like, look up all the developers and their favorite games, and you could definitely see where these influences in Expedition 33 show out. I keep skipping on these characters. I keep, you know, going to this topic, but Gustave and his dynamic with his sister Mayel is so natural. I don't know how to explain it. Now, I have a younger sibling, not old enough to have a full-on conversation and like just banter with, but it just feels right. It feels like it's not fabricated, this relationship that he has with Mayel. I'm pretty sure that Mayel's like an adoptive sister. You know, in this world, you know, people die if their age number is the year that's painted by the paintress. So a lot of people, you know, can join families and just join with each other. So, you know, there's a sense of community because, you know, they're dwindling, you know, there's not a lot of people left. It just, oh my God, every scene that they're talking in with each other, I lock the fuck in. It is so, like, it feels like a movie. It just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels so good. And also, too, I love that Gustave is a flawed character, as we see when they first land on the main continent. I'm not gonna even spoil it, but when he lands on the main continent and everything goes bad, you know, we see him struggling to maintain his composure when he's really the personality. Like, he's the one that's usually keeping people in check. You know, like it's when you first meet him, it seems like he has a nice head on his shoulder. No pun intended, also, but like you could just see that he's a good guy to be around. Everybody relies on him, as we see when all these kids and stuff come up to him and just, I don't know, they just idolize him. But then when we see him land on that beach and everything goes shit west, it just flips his character upside down. And then, you know, he meets Lune, and they have their little argument or exchange, as whatever you want to call it, at the camp, talking about him and like I guess you could say mentioning his cowardness because he's losing his faith on his mission. He's already just dooming himself mentally. It's amazing. I love everything about the dialogue in this game and just how everything is just orchestrated between these characters. Now let's get to the combat of this game. This combat. Now obviously, I've played Baldur's Gate, I've played Persona 3, but I have to say, I think my favorite combat is this game. Having such interactive turn-based is such a different feeling. Now, again, I have not played a lot of turn-based games, so I don't know what's out there or what other examples of interactive turn-based that there are, but I have to say, this is my favorite example by far. I mean, you can parry, you can dodge, you can jump and then counterattack if you time it right. And the fact that doing all these actions benefit you because you gain, I guess you could say, I think it's called ability points, AP. Bro, it is so fun. And then when they do the counterattack, which is basically when you parry every one of the enemy's attacks, that little like animation thing that they do where you just counterattack, it just feels so rewarding. It's so good. It's like, I don't know, it gets that dopamine rolling in my head. And another thing too, speaking of like them doing the character dynamics and how they interact with each other, we meet this character named Sophie in the beginning of the game. We know her for like max 20 minutes. Like I swear on everything, if you're just blowing through it, you're probably going to know her for about less than 10 minutes. But bro, the fact that they have a character that you only know for so long, and they make her feel so known, and then they make you feel so sad towards what's happening to her. They do so little, but yet so much in showing how much she means to Gustav and just to us. It's just having that cutscene in the beginning of the game for the Gommage. Yo. Oh my god. It is such a good game. And you know what's funny too? There are so many things to compliment about this game that I'm going to upload this and I'm still going to find more stuff to talk about. And I'm going to be so sad that I didn't even mention it. But, oh my god, there's just so much to even, like, mention about this game. And you know what, before I even end this video, let's just talk about the aura farmers that they have. We have our own, version of Withers. We have this, like, opium as fuck girl with the mask. Like, yo, these are some cool ass people, and they have so much like aura and mystery to them. Like, I just like them. I don't even know their names. I don't know who they are, like what they pertain, like what do they add to the story? I don't know, but they are so cool, and they just aura farm. There's nothing much to say about it. All right, so I was talking about forgetting stuff to say. I just remembered. Let me add this before I end this video. This soundtrack also. Oh my god, I'm adding this whole like video game soundtrack to my playlist like as soon as I can, because there's just one song that you could play in the game called Lumiere, and it's just, oh my god, I can listen to this all day. It's like ding ding dong ding 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 dong ding 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 dong dong. It's so good. Oh, it's like crack cocaine in my ears. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Play Expedition 33. This is a Game of the Year nominee. And if at most, at least Indie Game of the Year. Because this is such a beautiful game. Honestly, you're missing out if you're not playing this. I'll be honest, you're missing out. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.